By the end of this video, you're going to have a fully working RAG chatbot, which you can use to deploy on websites or in internal knowledge bases for your company or any companies that you want to build this for. Now, before we get into actually building this workflow in N8N and also using Supabase as our vector store, I'm going to quickly run through the theory of what RAG is and why it's important. RAG stands for something called Retrieval-Augmented Generation. And essentially, instead of an LLM guessing on your company's information or a business's information, it will look at an information knowledge base and it will gather its information from here to give an answer filled with context. So, how do we do this? We need to upload some form of knowledge base that we give our AI agent, and this can be in the form of PDFs, websites, notes, etc. And all this information goes into our knowledge base and in something known as a vector database or a vector store. And this is essentially where your documents, your PDFs, which is what I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial, are converted into numbers. So your knowledge base and PDFs in this case are going to be chunked up. They're going to be split into different chunks, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. And then these different chunks are going to be stored as numbers. And the reason they're going to be stored as numbers in your knowledge base is because this allows our AI to access this through natural language. So when you ask a question about a certain part of your business, what your AI is going to do is going to search for a number which closely matches what your AI has generated. It goes down in some quite deep maths, but I'm not going to go into that. And this is going to essentially allow you to give your AI answer filled with context about what you've asked it. This is what chunking looks like. So we're going to split up our document, our knowledge base, into different chunks, as we can see here in the chunking section. And then these different chunks are going to get embedded into our vector database. So they're going to basically be created as numbers that our AI can use to look at. And then when we ask a question, our AI is going to look at that vector store and find the appropriate numbers, and then by extension, the appropriate data that it needs to pull to get the right context for its answer. So once we've got our whole flow set up, this is what it's going to look like. A user is going to ask a query. That's going to go into our AI agent. And then our AI agent is then going to get the relevant chunks from our vector data store, which has been informed by our knowledge base. And then it's going to pull these chunks in. And it's going to give the question that our user has asked and also information from our vector store to our LLM. Our LLM is then going to use both the question and the context, and it's going to give a context-driven answer. Okay, so now we know how the logic of this is going to work. Let's start building this in N8N and also in Supabase. So the first thing we're going to build before we get into our actual AI agent is we're going to build our vector database first. So you want to go to Supabase and create an account. It's really simple if you haven't done already. And then you want to hit on a new project. And then you can call this whatever you want. I'm just going to call this tutorial. And then you want to put in a password. And it's important to remember this password, as you're going to need it later on. And then you want to hit on create a new project. Okay, now we can hop back over to our N8N workflow now. And what we're going to do is we're going to build the workflow we need to update or upload our knowledge base into our vector store. So the first step we want to add is a manual trigger. We're going to search for a Google Drive node and we're going to download a file. So what you want to do is you want to upload your knowledge base up to Google Drive as a PDF. And I'm going to actually show you a quick way we can use Apify to scrape all of the data from your website to quickly get a lot of that knowledge, and use Claude to create a quick PDF there. I'm going to show you that in just a second. And then we're going to upload everything to our vector store. But first, let's go over to Apify and actually show you how you can scrape all the information from your website. So you want to go over to Apify. It's really easy to sign up for an account, and then you want to look for the website content crawler agent. Now, you want to put your website in here. So this is the link to my website, and then you want to hit the start button. Now, once you have run that, you should get a successful run, and then you want to export these results. You want to hit on export here, and you want to download this as a JSON file. And once you've downloaded this as a JSON file, you want to put this into Claude and ask it to create a PDF for a really good knowledge base for you. It's then going to use the appropriate skill, and it's going to give you a PDF out on the other side. So if I open this up, you can see that it's created a very brief knowledge base for me. This could obviously be better, but I've just put it in really quickly, and it's given like an overview on some specific things about my business. So you then want to upload that file that you've got to your Google Drive, and then we're going to download that from our Google Drive in our N8N workflow here. I'm going to go to your Google Drive node, and you want to select that file to download, which I've done so here. Your next node you want to add is a Supabase vector store, and you want to add documents to this vector store. Now, I've already got a couple of accounts here, but I'm going to show you quickly how to create a credential. So you want to hit on create a new credential here, and there's a host and a service role secret that we need to put in here. So to get both of the things, first you want to go to project settings, and we're going to go to data API first, and this is where we can get our API URL. So you want to copy that here, and you want to post that back into your host. And then for our service role secret, we want to go back over to our project settings, and we want to go to API keys. Now we want to go to this little tab here. You want to reveal it and then copy this secret. Then you want to hit save. Perfect. Now you can see it's connected successfully. We need to set up a table where we're actually going to upload this information into. So you want to hit on docs here, and then you want to scroll down a little bit and go to quick start for setting up your vector store. Now it's really easy. Then you want to copy this SQL code here. So we're going to hit on copy code, and then you want to go back over to your Supabase account. Then you go to the SQL editor tab here, and you're literally going to paste that code that we've just got, and you're going to hit the run button. Now, what this is going to do is going to create a table in your table editor section. So if I go over here, we can see there's now been a table that's been created called documents, and there's a few different columns that have been created with it. So I'm going to quickly go out of my Superbase vector store here, and then hopefully this is reloaded, and we can see that we've now got a documents table. Okay, and now we want to add a couple things in here to our Superbase vector store. So we want to basically upload that document that we've got. We're going to change this types of data into binary here, and that is fine. And we can leave the text splitting as simple. You can change it to custom if you want, but simple does the job 99% of the time. And now we want to also upload our embedding model. So I'm just going to use an OpenAI embedding model. There's various forms you can use here, but I'm just going to use the OpenAI one. Obviously, connect your OpenAI account. It's really simple with an API key. If you don't know how to do that, just search up on YouTube. There's loads of videos out there, and you'll be able to do it in literally less than a couple of minutes. Now we've got that, I'm actually going to execute this workflow, and this should upload our knowledge base into our vector store. Great, so that's run successfully, and you can see that it's uploaded 9 items to our vector store. So it's meaning that it's chunked our knowledge base into 9 different parts. So if I go to our table here, we should have 9 different rows, which you can see is updated, and I've got 9 different bits of information that have been uploaded into this table. Okay, so now we've got our vector store set up. Now we just need to create our AI agent to interact with this. So we're going to search for a chat node here. We're going to click on chat, and we're going to open up the trigger one, and it's going to be on a new chat event. So I'm just going to move this over here quickly. And we want to connect our AI agent to this node. So I'm going to hit the AI agent node there, and we can leave this as connected to chat trigger node because we're connected to a chat trigger. And we want to add a system message in here. I'm going to leave the prompt for now, but we'll come back to that in a bit. Now, before I carry on, just to mention, all of this is going to be available in my free Skool community. So make sure to like, subscribe, and then go over to that to get access to all of these free templates. And you don't have to build this from scratch. Literally, you can just copy this template. For your vector store, you're obviously going to have to build that for yourself, but the N8N workflow, you'll be able to copy at the click of a finger. So I'm going to quickly add our chat model. I'm just going to add an Anthropic chat model. This is probably my favorite one at the moment. I'm going to add a Superbase vector tool. So this is going to essentially allow our AI agent to access that knowledge base. Now I'm going to make sure that it's connecting to our documents here. So it's connecting to the right one. We have a very, very brief description. To access this vector store, it has to also be connected to an embedding model. And we could just connect it up to this one here, but I'm just going to connect it as a separate one just so it's easier to read. So we're going to connect our OpenAI embedding model again. And now we have a final thing to add, which is the memory tool. Now, essentially, we could add an N8N simple memory tool in here, but if we do it that way, it's not going to remember, we're not going to have any of our conversations stored anywhere. So instead, we're going to use a Postgres memory tool, and this is going to store all of our chat conversation history so we can see the type of conversations users are having, so we can know how we want to tweak the agent or tweak knowledge base, whatever the case may be. So you're going to click on memory here, and then you're going to add a Postgres chat memory. Now, what you want to do is you want to create a new credential here. I'm going to leave it as Postgres account 3. That's fine. And we've got a few different fields to fill out. So I'm going to show you how to do this just now. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go back over to Superbase, and we want to click on this connect button right here. Then we want to go to direct, and then go into transaction pooler. And there's a few different things we want to grab here. So we're going to grab our host here, go back over to N8N and copy that into our host box. Database we can leave as Postgres. I'm going to copy the user, which we're going to put into this box here. We are going to also put in our password, which we had from earlier. So that's why I said remember it, because we need to put it into here. So make sure to go and put that in. Last thing we'll put in is our port. So if I go back over here, we've got a port of 6543. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Then we're going to hit save. And then what we're going to do, we can change the context window if we want, but we can just leave it as it is. And it's now going to store all of our chat conversation history in this Postgres model. And now it's actually going to create another table called NAN underscore chat histories when we launch this for the first time. So I'm going to test this agent out and see if it interacts with our knowledge base. And then I am going to see if it creates an extra table, which it should do, and show the history of our interactions. So I'm going to open my agent quickly and I'm going to ask it a few questions. I'm going to say, hi, my name is Tom. What does Inovio do? You can see that it's running through our agent and it's just accessed our vector database. So hopefully we should have a good informed answer that's going to give us, which it looks like it does. And then we're also going to have, hopefully, an NAN chat history here, which is just updated. And you can see that it's updated it with my input and also the AI's response. See that it's given me quite a good answer on what my specific business does, the type of businesses that I target, the type of work that I do, the services that I provide, the type of difference it can make to your business. I hopefully you found that tutorial useful. If you did, all those templates are going to be available in my free Skool community. So make sure to like, subscribe, and go over to there to get access to all of those free templates. If you're a business and you're looking to set up a RAG chatbot like this for your business or one of your clients potentially, then go to the Calendly link in my description to get on a discovery call and we can see how this can work out for you. If you're an AI agency owner and you found this useful, please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what type of videos you want in future, and I'll be back in the next video and I'll see you then.